Welcome everybody to an episode of Pixels to Politics. I'm your host, Douglas, my co-host Bray. This is episode 40 of season 3, and this is a follow-up, of course, to the UAP file released by the Department of War here in the US. We're gonna go this is officially the deep dive, and we're gonna go one by one through all of them, not just the trending stuff. But I have seen reports that there are crash recovery FBI files and some body found stuff. And just yesterday, we went through and we saw that the French had their own little UAP investigation team, and they were kind of uncovering some stories. So lots of
French aren't
fun,
cool, so they failed.
lots of fun stuff to go through, and we are doing it. Doing it. I know you guys love the deep dives, so we're gonna start with the first one. You know what? I'll take it back. This is still propaganda, but I'm glad they gave us this site because doing what doing what we were doing before for the Voldemort files and the JFK files, oof, that shit was torture.
I mean, at least they give me some sort of way to sort them. Because this
All right,
one
yeah.
has an incident date. So this is the oldest one that they released, which is 1950.
Holy shit. Oh, so it's actually ordered. Is it ordered by date? The whole thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or I mean, you
God,
can order some of them at least.
bless. 1950s. All right, I want to read
Yeah.
this one. I like
This
the
one has the title of Flying Discs.
I
So
like the older one. So this is January 9th, 1950. This is titled UFO, Lowry Flight Service Center, Air Force Base, Denver, Colorado. Declassified. Command General, Air Material Command, Wright Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio. In compliance with Flight Service Regulation 200 4, dated November 2nd, 1948, subject UFO. The following, you know, this is of course directly after World War II. Unidentified flying objects. The following report is submitted. On the night of January 6th, 1950, two objects were sighted over Kansas City, Kansas, and Olathe, Kansas. They appeared to be motionless over Olathe for 10 to 15 minutes, then moved off very fast. The weather at Kansas City was clear with 12 miles visibility. The incident was witnessed by James F. Gray, 6200 Hadley Street, Raytown, Missouri. Phone
FL 2744.
and Robert Van D. Vivern, 5532 Raytown Road, Missouri. Both are employed at Bendix Aviation, Kansas City, Kansas, and the former is a pilot. Photos are not available. Sketches are en route to Lowry Flight Service and will be forwarded immediately upon receipt. All right, can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah.
Two objects were sighted, both spherical in shape. They appear to be the size of old-fashioned streetlights about 2 blocks distant. They were a brilliant white, emanating orange and red flashes. They moved from over Kansas City toward Olathe, Kansas, remained motionless for 10 to 15 minutes, then moved off very fast in a southwesterly direction. The estimated altitude was between 7 and 8,000 feet. No sound was emitted, nor exhaust trail apparent. This report was given to Fairfax AFB Operations, Kansas City, Kansas, and transmitted to Lowry Flight Service. Okay. Nice. Starting off kind of strong.
That's the back
And
of it.
gotcha. So even during this time period, there would be nothing that could just sit idly in the air, that's for sure. In compliance with this is the same report, date of the sighting. Oh no, is this a whole new sighting? No, the same one.
Yeah. Yeah, this is 20th September 1949.
Oh shit, okay.
This is really long, by the way.
Um okay, well, let's see if we can't kind of just get the details. So this is another sighting in the
20th
air.
September 1949.
Type of aircraft. So this is from the air too, it seems like.
Yeah.
G45. They had the speed, the altitude, distance, direction from the city, no landmarks. 30, 30. Oh, sorry, north something. Clock position of object from observer's aircraft. 4 o'clock, approximately 30 miles to the right, to the rear.
Color, ciliary. This is what's important is the appearance. The shape is always cylindrical. The color silver or aluminum. Size undetermined due to distance and speed. Construction, no opinion. Yeah. Huh.
Undetermined due to distance and speed. The only way that these could be not real is if they are like the current government made this shit up.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is impossible, of course. But these are very, they're supposed to be very credible reports. These are not some lowly grunt who's doing fucking, shrooms in a backyard. These are lieutenant colonels, these are commanders. These are very important people.
Yeah.
This is an aircraft
Yeah.
controller
Same thing.
UFO.
Number one, circular, shiny aluminum. Object reflected the sun's rays.
Object did not maneuver. Just sat there. The sound was
Yeah.
similar to a jet aircraft. Exhaust trail or not, no exhaust trail was noted. I
This
have
is
seen
23rd of August, 1949.
I have seen some people say that they think the aliens are actually just they're trying to imitate some of our craft as a way to, not be obvious. So this guy, here's his story. Sergeant Studeman first saw the object from his home in the north end of Seattle. He called Sergeant Folkler, who was on duty at the 143rd National Guard Aircraft Control and Warning Squadron, and reported the object. Sergeant Faulkner reported that after receiving the call from Sergeant Studman, he stepped outside of the office and he saw apparently the same object. Oh, okay. Saw the same object, was at his home in the south end of Seattle at the time, and he saw the object and he reported the information to the CAA control tower at Boeing Field, Seattle, Washington, who relayed the information to the McCord Flight Service Center. Both Sergeant Faulkner and Sergeant Studman saw other aircraft in the air at the same time. The circular object was sighted and reported that it bore no resemblance to any aircraft they'd ever seen before. Clear visibility, names and occupation and addresses. I mean, these are like higher level people. These aren't grunts. These aren't nobody. Sketches of objects configuration, photographs of objects if available. Photographs of objects are not available. Sketches of object configuration not available. Damn, that's unlucky. I really want to see some pictures and objects. But so
I don't
far
think
we're
there's going to be
seeing.
any pictures in vast majority of these. I think we've already seen all the pictures and videos.
Let me read another story.
Yeah.
In accordance, this looks like. Okay.
What is this regulation they keep fucking quoting?
So do you remember they were saying in the JFK files that we went through, they were saying that after World War II, they got the MJ-12 together. They got the brightest minds together, and they said, okay, what's the next big threat? And all of them apparently said, or most of them, had come to the conclusion the next big threat was aliens or UFOs. And then they put together a team to start, gathering that information, which does line up with this time frame, by the way. 1949 is about the time that MJ-12 was put together, just after World War II. So maybe the protocols that they're referring to here is, what they developed in order to start gathering this information. Like these questions are very standardized because that's the protocol.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Only individual who reported this sighting was Harry Clark, occupation airport manager of Ritchiefield, Nampa, Idaho. Address, Nampa, Idaho. Photographs of object not available. Ooh. The objects, this is a sketch. The objects were delta wings with no protrusions. The angle of the apex, as reported by Mr. Clark, was between 30 and 45 degrees, with the base of the triangle being slightly curved convex. Wow, that's a really weird image, at least in my brain.
Yeah.
7 objects were sighted flying in a V formation. Huh.
Okay.
It would be funny if there's birds. Larger than an F-51?
It's pretty big.
Yeah, okay, so definitely not birds. Darker than normal aluminum skin and not shiny. Mr. Clark reported the surface seemed to be between a light gray and dirty white color. Speed was faster than an F-51. It's definitely not birds.
600 miles per hour,
Yeah.
which breaks the sound barrier.
Holy shit. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep kind of skimming through. See what else we got. So far, I'm enjoying this. I got lots of banger stories here. Well, we got another one here. This is the following report of a UFO object submitted in compliance with flight service regulation. So even air traffic controllers have regulations set in place that they need to report these things. No photographs, no sketch. This is the. Can you scroll down to the description? Not really too much. Flame and smoke. High rate. West
Long
to
tail
east.
of flame accompanied by long tail of smoke.
Okay.
Flame and smoke. High
That's
rate.
all. That's all I saw.
This
Very
is how you
high.
know a man wrote this.
Chief of Staff. This is Pennsylvania, Middletown. Date of sighting
Date.
June 10th, 1949. Type aircraft, speed, altitude T6. I don't even know what a T6 is.
Type
20
6.
miles southwest of Boston. Going. We got a description. No formation. Oh, it's more than one.
1 and then 6 miles is the distance. 30,000 feet.
This was also taken from a jet. Like, this guy saw the UFO from a jet. Tubular. That's how he describes it. This guy, whoever was beginning to ask these questions, was very, like, just straightforward, single worded answers. Like, he wasn't fucking around.
Yeah, no.
He said white and tubular, which we've sort of sounds like the pill.
I love how it says unknown for a lot of these.
Not observed, yeah. This trail vary with sound. None. Unknown, unknown, unknown. What did this guy see exactly?
A white tube.
Fair enough. Hobbies, not applicable. Okay. Obviously, they had to ask these guys a lot of questions to kind of make sure they weren't insane.
Yeah.
Report. Wow, look at this one. So faded.
Can't even read this.
Government
We ain't reading
ham?
all this. No, look, what is this? I can barely read it too.
Wait, hold on. Go back up. Let me skim that real quick. Why is it talking about prepaid ham?
I don't know. Government prepaid ham. And then it
Eggs?
has -E-8FD, attention Mike Charlie, item able X-ray oboe -3. What?
What is this? Wait.
Oh,
Skip to the bottom. Estimated speed. They made. Well, oh, he's like, this is like a flight
this is
log. Like,
coded. It's coded.
so listen. Advised he saw what appeared to be 3 flying discs in the vicinity of Elko going southwest. They remained in this vicinity 3 or 4 minutes. Mr. Small entered house to get field glasses, CMA through glasses. They appeared to be 30 feet in diameter at approximately 14,000 feet. They made left turn and departed ahead of United Airlines plane departing Elko. PD speed estimated at 300 to 400 miles per hour. United Airlines plane departing Elko. Sorry, just read that. United Airlines pilot did not see them. Unique par only aircraft in the vicinity of the time was 1 Baker Dash 26 PD weather at Elko clear. Wow. So, none of this is too different from all the different stories we've ever heard. Listen to this one. This one's from Guam. This is a radar pickup, actually. On Monday, the 2nd of May, 1949, we took off in the aircraft, number blah, 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 for the purpose of test hopping the ship. What the fuck does that mean? Takeoff was made at approximately 1,500 kilometers. The radar set was turned on at approximately 1,515 kilometers and was tuned in. Guam and Oroda were picked up by radar, and after about 10 minutes of operation, some type of interference was noted on the scope. It came in the same form is a regular range marker, except that the pulses were approximately 10 miles apart. They only covered the area covered by Guam, plus about 5 degrees on either side of the island. The scope was on the 100-mile range. As the range was reduced, interference grew larger on the scope. On an attached sheet, there is a sketch of the scope. Oh my god, can we find that sketch? This is more than one.
Uh, yeah,
He
one
checked
second.
the set after landing and could find no malfunctions. On the 8th of June, 1949, at a position of 100 and it's latitude, longitude, aircraft from the 514th Reconnaissance Squadron made the following sighting. So this is obviously a lot of the collected reports from these airmen at the time. But again, what are the chances that these airmen are, tweaking out at super high altitude? These aren't like your backyard farmers, who are seeing crop circles get formed.
Yeah, no. It's a bit different. Well, I mean, also what's kind of like strange to me is that they're all really describing the same fucking thing.
Yeah,
And we've seen like 7 of these things now. They all describe the same thing. It's either like super shiny aluminum or it's like a dirty gray, which could just be that the exterior of the vehicle isn't cleaned or whatever, right?
sure.
I think that's pretty reasonable assumption. But I think it's also interesting that how kind of how they're really just doing it just because they're required to, not even really that they're interested in it. I feel like. I mean, obviously it's probably interesting to know it, but if I had to write a report every time I saw these things, I'd probably be like, "Fuck that."
It's a different time, there
Yeah,
with the internet. I feel like there's an ego that's come with our population of,
yeah,
okay, we know everything. And
yeah,
again, I like to go back to the example where the U.S. airman is seeing the first fighter jet ever, German fighter jet during World War II, and he's like, "Holy shit! What the hell was that?"
yeah,
And the mentality is just a lot different. Obviously, there's people were a lot more religious at the time. Like
yeah,
in general, the open mindedness of people, that people are just more open minded, and so when they see a structure, they weren't really worried probably about getting ridiculed or that they were losing their minds. So when they got brought in, and they were sat down and they were asked questions, yeah, they're very normal about it. It's just like
yeah,
describing an animal they saw at the zoo or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah,
and that's how some of these guys are answering. They're just like, "Oh yeah, it was a fucking tube shape. It made a quick right hand turn, moving at 400 miles an hour. I mean, it was crazy shit. I've never seen a fighter jet like this before in my life." A lot of the times back then too, especially just after World War II, you there's no internet. You don't know what technology China has. You don't know what technology Russia has. You don't know what technology anybody has. So
yeah.
that your first thoughts are very open minded because it could be the enemy. Of course, now
That's,
it's a little different. So what do we got here? Air intelligence information, the 14th of October, 1955, I believe that said. This is labeled secret. So, air intelligence
this is very
information.
hard to read.
I can read it. The report.
I want to find the actual report.
This is the report. This is more than one. The aircraft was
Oh,
circular. The
here we go.
aircraft was round. It's in quotes, meaning this person is saying it. It
Yeah,
resembled a flying saucer. It seemed to be the shape of a discus, round and circular, revolving clockwise or to the right. It was definitely round, or at least circular, in the eyes of these two observers, containing no protrusions or sticks or bulges. No estimate could be obtained from either observer, thickness, or diameter. There was no noticeable color. It was stated that dusk prevented any color impressions. After reaching 2,000 meters, it whipped off at great speed from our left to our right and towards the north from south. Speed differential was very noticeable between ascent and level flight speed. We could see the takeoff. This is in quotes again, guys. We could see the takeoff on the horizon to our left and south of our train. Outer part revealed slowly to the right. Sorry, outer part revolved slowly to the right. So he's describing a rotating saucer, which we've
Mm-hmm.
seen examples of, man-made examples. There seemed to be a different impression of the disk movement while climbing and after, assuming level flight, with the terms revolving slowly used for the climb and the term whirring for the cruising flight. This is some classic UFO description.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's not necessarily crazy hearing it, but it is crazy, of course, assuming this isn't manufactured. It is crazy to see reports going back as far as 1950,
Yeah.
I believe that further debriefing of all three U.S. observers is a more in a more relaxed atmosphere, and with more time, it would produce much more valuable technical detail than the hurried interview above. Wow. And below that, it looks like they're describing the train that they were on. The three U.S. observers. This is scale model. Sorry, just kind of skimming through. They are just kind of describing their experience on the train. They're not talking about the actual craft. So you can scroll down. I would love to see more radar reports, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Those would be pretty cool.
He told the
Those actually just.
party that he is now retired. He is a hero of the Soviet Union and speaks fairly freely about the internal situation in the USSR. SEN Russell, Senator maybe, Senior Russell, extended an invitation for him to visit his office if he ever comes to the USA. U.S. Air Force comment: It is difficult for me to believe that this experienced pilot in polar navigation would be retired and doing nothing but traveling around the Trans-Caucasus region with a young engineer. Egorov stated that during World War II, he had shot down 17 German aircraft. Colonel Hathaway observed about 20 minutes outside of Sokai a T-34 tank that had something break on the gun, but looked very different from any he had seen during a combat tour in Korea. The tank was on a flat car. What? Huh. So this guy, I just read a little more of the context. Sounds like this Russian guy is after the war is partying it up in a bar with a couple of Americans, and the Americans go and report what he says to their higher ups.
Yeah.
This one, that was weird. I don't know if it's talking about the switching building. I don't know. Oh, the switching building. I forgot. Train cars back then, they had buildings to switch the thingies. Oh, we got some description.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is of the plane. This is what, a B-52?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Is there any more? Was there no more
No.
pictures?
Nope. That was it. That was it. That was the last thing.
This one is from Germany.
This one's an FBI report, so this one might be a little bit different. This is an interview
With a German. Oh, we have some scribbles from him. So it
okay,
also.
this looks schizophrenic.
Yeah, so he's got it. I mean, it looks like the classic saucer design. And, it's got the circles and the little spinning top looking things. Unidentified flying object from it just looks like it may have been redacted a little bit. 547 JOS, Campo, Detroit, 11, Michigan. Address letter dated November 4th to Robert Cutler, who's a special assistant to the president. What? Stating, quote, might have some information about the rocket in Texas. I heard about it on the Polish radio program. I would like to know to whom I could speak to, unquote. Immediately interview Kiyosaki for any information he might have. Both files reflect no information. Rikusuki Sutel. What is going on here? In response to a letter directed by him to Mr. Robert Cutler, Special Assistant to the President Dwight D. Eisenhower, reflecting that he might have some information about the rocket in Texas. I wonder what they're referring to. This is in 1957.
Mm.
Born blank in the state of blank, both are redacted. Kurosaki was brought from Poland as a prisoner of war, approximately 30 miles east from Berlin, Germany, in May 1942. He remained until a few weeks after the end of World War II. Spent the following years at displaced persons camp. For about a year, was employed in a textile mill at Lorach, Baden, Germany. He arrived in the United States, and he wait one. Okay, has been employed at Global Brewery Detroit. News reports a mysterious vehicle in Texas causing engines to stall prompted him to communicate with the U.S. government concerning a similar phenomenon observed by him in 1944 in the area of Gut Alt Golsen. According to Kurosaki, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing his name terribly wrong, by the way. It's like Kurosaki. During 1944, month not recalled, while en route to work in a field a short distance north of Gut Alt Golsen, their tractor engine stalled on a road through a swamp area. No machinery or other vehicle was then visible, although a noise was heard, described as a high-pitched whine, similar to that produced by a large electric generator. Sounds like an EMP, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
interesting.
mean, similar at least.
What's interesting, I'd say, is that this is not just. I mean, this pretty much has nothing to do with UFOs. This is
No.
a phenomenon of some sort that this guy experienced. Could scroll
Yeah.
down. Is that it?
Nope.
Hmm.
More.
An SS guard appeared and talked briefly with the German driver of the tractor. Oh, wait, here we go. So, the SS guard observed a circular enclosure, approximately 100 to 150 yards in diameter, protected from viewers by a terrapolin type wall. Don't know what that means. Approximately 50 feet high,
Tarpaulin.
from which a vehicle was observed to slowly rise vertically to a height sufficient to clear the wall and then to move slowly horizontally a short distance out of view, which was obstructed by nearby trees. The vehicle, observed from approximately 500 feet, was described as circular in shape, 75 to 100 yards in diameter, and about 14 feet high, consisting of dark gray stationary top and bottom sections. Again, with the rotating rim and the classic circular design. 5 to 6 feet high, the approximate 3 foot middle section appeared to be a rapidly moving component, producing a continuous blur, similar to an aeroplane propeller, but extending the circumference of the vehicle so far as could be observed. The noise emanating from the vehicle was similar, but of somewhat lower pitch than the noise previously heard. Uninsulated metal, possibly copper cables, 1.5 inch to 2 inch in diameter, on and under the surface of the ground, in some places covered by water, were observed on this and previous occasions, approximately running between the enclosure. What in the world? This area was not visited by Krasuski again until shortly after the end of World War II, when it was observed the cables had been removed, and the previous locations of the concrete structure and the enclosure were covered by water. What in the God's green earth? And then they say that there were some prisoners of war who saw the same thing. About 18 men. But they weren't able to find them.
Yeah,
Wow.
no.
So again, if this is manufactured, they all describe the same thing from across the globe. We have Indonesia,
Well,
France,
this is the
Poland.
first report we're reading where they talk about it having an EMP type
That's
effect.
that's true. However, there was a similar report recently in which a UFO flew over a nuke site and it
Yeah.
and it turned off the nuke systems, like hit it with an EMP, basically. It's what it
I
was
mean, in terms
described
of like
as.
incident date.
It was modern, so like within the past like 20
No,
years.
no, no, no. This thing that we're reading.
Hmm, you're right. That's true. This is the first time we've heard of it having an EMP effect during this time period. That is true.
So I wonder if whatever chemical it rotates or whatever thing that it's rotating, because they said that there was something rotating in the middle of the disc, which could be Mercury, right?
Yeah,
Technically speaking.
that's true too.
But if you rotate Mercury at high temperatures, does it cause an EMP effect?
Not that I know of. EMP is like a burst of electricity, so I don't see how Mercury would do that. But it does sound like he's just, that blur effect.
Yeah.
We've seen that effect with the 0 point energy kind of creating the time field around the ship as it moves like this.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about kind of the blurring effect that takes place. That sounds a lot like what they're describing.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Hmm.
Don't know.
Yeah. Don't know.
This report. What do we
It's
got here?
loaned to you by the FBI.
All right, you read this one. Oh, it's the same guy,
Cat.
Krasinski.
Oh. Interview of. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Krasuski, also known as Walter Krasuski, reported in blank memo, 5 copies of which are enclosed herewith for the FBI, was conducted by Special Agent Cassius Rathbun. No indication of irrational or otherwise abnormal behavior by Krasuski was observed during the interview. Krasuski advised that his communication was directed to Mr. Robert Cutler rather than to President Eisenhower after seeing Mr. Cutler's picture and identification with the president's office in a local paper. Krasuski resides with his wife, Joanne Wisniewski.
Good luck.
Jesus Christ. Married in 1952 at Detroit and 4 small children and a single residence in an old Polish neighborhood at 5457 Jos Campo Avenue, Detroit. No previous record located in Detroit and Dice is identifiable with Krasuski or his wife. On 11/7/57, William, what's with these fucking names? Reck Nagel,
I don't know.
manager, advised IC Paul Desmond that records of the Mick Merchants Credit Association reflects only credit inquiries concerning Walter Krasuski during 656 and 357 and 657, which confirms his local address and employment.
Interesting that this guy has a fucking direct link to the president. For some
Well,
reason.
he had a link to the president's aide. I don't know if
That's
that
true.
counts.
Oh,
I know
well.
Robert Cutler was very talkative, though. Okay, FBI office. Dear sirs, my organization would appreciate any information that you could send us on UFOs, specifically those sightings in your area in early spring of this year. We will greatly appreciate any information that you could send us on this subject. I thank you for your time and cooperation. Sincerely, Carrie Leash, Director. OUFORA.
I was wondering.
What?
Yeah. What is that? Uh. Huh. Director.
Is this the same thing we're looking at? Wait,
Yeah.
this is the first mention of it. Or
Let me look it up. Said it
let me
was.
see. Let me see if there's an acronym for it, maybe.
Well, that's not what it. It's not the exact typing, is it? How is it that
Yeah.
Google doesn't
Yeah,
even
it's the
know?
exact OUFORA. What the hell does that even mean?
I don't know. O R.
Let me try typing it out exactly like that. O
How is it
U
that nothing is coming up?
F
What?
O R A.
Dude, literally, I cannot find anything on this acronym at all.
No. Like, what is this? What is this supposed to mean? Like, I've never seen this before.
Me neither. So I mean, this is saying that. I mean, it's funny that it's calling it a hoax, even though it's on the official document. But it says that it may stand for UFO.
Hell, even I type in the name too, by the way,
Uh
and
huh.
the only thing that pops up is the same thing we're looking at, the PDF. Look,
Yeah. This is an entirely unknown organization.
Okay, wait, hold on. Pause. We're
Pause.
reading a document, right?
Right.
The Oklahoma UFO Research Institution.
Okay. There we
Oh,
go.
Oklahoma UFO Research Association.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that's
Whew.
what it stands for.
Almost lost our
But it
minds
doesn't
there.
but it doesn't pop up on fucking anything.
Wait, so would this mean every single state had a UFO research association, right? Because Oklahoma is not a big state.
No, it's not. It's actually one of those fucking smaller states. I mean, it's at least in terms of population, but and also I type in the name of the person, Carrie Leash,
Nothing
nothing
comes up.
pops up. Nothing.
Yeah, you would think
Like
something. Anything.
Carrie Loesch?
No.
No. Like it's
Nothing.
not it's yeah, I mean it's like you'd think, oh, maybe this person is on fucking LinkedIn or something. I don't know. Maybe they got furloughed by the
A little
government
wiki
2000 years
page
ago.
or some shit.
Yeah.
Nothing.
How hush hush is this entire thing supposed to be?
Maybe people are right. Maybe this has been going on and they actually did a great job at keeping it hush hushed. You know?
I guess. I mean,
You know
but
what
the
this
oak like let me just type that in.
you know the thing that makes me this is all kind of making me think about is do you remember the Battle LA UFO thing where some UFOs were spotted over LA and they thought they were under attack and they actually started shooting at it?
Yeah.
I'm starting to kind of think that shit was real, man.
Like International UFO Bureau, Oklahoma City.
Why is it verifying your browser? You're not on a VPN, are you?
No. Okay.
Creation
1969 to
1969.
19. Name of
Mm,
the creator is Arthur Bray.
in 1925. Oh no, that's when he was born. He's still what? There's no death date. He's still alive.
Wait. Dates of creation area.
With the International UFO Bureau. Files contain. Why is his name Bray? I'm fucking tweaking right now.
His name is Arthur Bray. That's the last name.
Oh, okay, okay.
That would be pretty funny if his name was also Bray.
That would be wild.
Oh, he had a book service called Bray Book Service.
It
Huh.
was written after 20 years of research as a challenge to the U.S. Air Force. What? Okay, so this guy is like crazy about UFOs. He's so into it.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, he acquired someone else's records on UFOs for his own research too, apparently. I don't know. There's deep history with Oklahoma and UFOs. Wait, what? UFO investigators wanted in Oklahoma? This is like 2 weeks ago. We get about 100 reports a year from the Sooner State, said CJ Arabia. She's the Southwest Regional Director of the Mutual UFO Network. Organization that's been gathering data for over 50 years here in Oklahoma as well.
I wonder how many nuclear bombs are stationed in Oklahoma.
Why the secrecy if it's really no big deal and there's nothing here? Why hide it from the American people? Said Representative Nancy Mace.
Not, not Nancy Mace.
Hmm. Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe. Humanity is not the only intelligent species. Blah blah blah.
There's no nukes in
People,
Oklahoma.
as far as I'm just concerned, disclosure happens. I mean, the Pentagon says there's things in these skies. We can't identify them. I remember thinking it happened. It's done. Then it was like the Jedi mind trick. The very next day, the same people who didn't think UFOs were real didn't think they were real. And the same people who thought they were real or know they were real thought it didn't change anyone's opinions and nothing changed. And I was absolutely shocked. Yeah, I don't know, Doug. Like, I feel like the UFO thing is could it? I mean, it could just be a distraction, couldn't it?
It's not working. If it is, I'll tell you that much. Like it's genuinely not working. But
You think
from what I
people
can
are
tell, most people don't care. It's not really like slamming in the zeitgeist at the moment. But that being said, it's not like anything else is trending anyway. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know what it would be distracting. Like I genuinely feel like most people have moved on, wrongfully so, in my opinion, from the you know what files.
Well,
And
yeah. Well, like
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
the issue I have here, Doug, is that when we got the Voldemort files and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like it's like okay, and it's like obviously Trump was like, yeah, we're gonna release the files in this order, and then we got the JFK files, and the JFK files was like, oh cool, we can just go to the fucking thing and we can just download it, and it was just super simple, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, now it's time for the Voldemort files, and then it was kind of just like, uh, yeah, here's a dirty ass box filled with a bunch of wet paper.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck sifting through it. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna shit in the box before I give it to you. Also, here's a Google Drive that no one knows the password to anymore. So good luck asking us to do something about it,
Yeah.
right? And then it's like we get this new like release, and like look how nice
I
this
know, it's
is.
so crisp.
It's like I feel like you're just trying to distract us.
So
Like look how nice this has. Look, it has like a little fucking
yeah.
altitude. Like look at how nicely the pictures are. Imagine if they did this for the Voldemort files.
They would never. They would never.
It has a link to Donald J. Trump, True Social, the directive. Like look how much nicer this is. Like fucking cyberpunk esque aesthetic going
Yeah,
on
yeah.
here. Where was this for the Voldemort files?
So, I mean, the very obvious answer is they didn't want the Voldemort files to be as accessible. On top of that, this comes from the Pentagon, which is obviously the most funded part of our government, right? So they had a
Yeah,
lot of money to throw at this for fun.
yeah,
It's also directly linked to the distraction they want from Iran. They're going to start bombing Iran soon. They don't want people to be paying attention to that. So this is out. It obviously helped with
yeah.
the files. So this is that. I mean,
And the thing that really pisses me off about this entire thing is that I know for a fact there's not a single file, there's not a single PDF out of these 17 pages of bullshit that's going to have an actual picture of an actual alien or an actual UFO that's been dissected by the government. Zero. It will have zero. There's not going to be anything. We looked at all the videos and photos that got posted, and it's all a bunch of grainy, thermal imaging bullshit.
yeah.
When I can look at an old video from like 1950s, and you can actually find it. You can still find it to this day of a guy that actually
Pull it
opened
up.
up like an actual UFO.
Pull it up. Pull
Yeah,
it up.
let me
Pull it
see if
up
I
right
can find
now.
it. Let me see if I can find it.
Unleash. Here's one of my
UFO.
favorite reports from the FC or from the UFO files on January 12th, 1994, at approximately 23:17 hours, a non-terrestrial humanoid entity was encountered by a U.S. Army reconnaissance patrol during a routine perimeter sweep in the Nevada Test and Training Range. The entity appears to be a bipedal female form humanoid with feline characteristics, including external ear appendages and a caudal appendage, which is a tail. The entity exhibited intelligence, communicated in English, and displayed non hostile behavior. The entity was temporarily detained, medically examined, and later released at approximately 0430 hours on January 13th, 1994. Apparent gender female. Feline ear appendage, feline caudal appendage, enhanced agility and balance. I don't know if this shit is real. Oh, man. That's hilarious. But
Trying to see.
there's a lot in here.
Let's see if I can't. I'm still looking around for it. I know I've seen it before. Like,
Oh my god. This is fucking something.
I remember seeing it too. It's been scrubbed from the internet. I swear to God, it has.
It probably has. Oh my.
UFO. Yeah, I mean, it's like all these things that I've seen before. Let me type in 4chan 1950s UFO video.
In the end, anything released by civilians, especially in the older days, will always be more trustworthy
Reliable.
than released, directly by the fucking Pentagon. You know, no matter what we read
Yeah.
here, it is. I mean, it should be absurd that all the way from the 1940s we have flying discs to today. That should be crazy. Assuming every single or even just a single report from each of these time periods is real. The problem is it comes from the Pentagon, and we don't trust it because it can be manufactured.
Yeah.
And like you said,
Exactly.
the site is amazing. I mean, it's structured by date. You can do it by date. You can do it by area. You can do it by type. There's videos. There's image. Honestly, change the type. Let's see if we can change that to image because we only watch the videos.
Yeah. Let me see.
Click the.
1 second.
You can do
Like, for
it.
example,
Yeah.
like, look at this.
Yeah, and these are directly in line with what we're hearing described.
Yeah.
Directly in line. I
Makes me
mean,
think
it's
that,
yeah.
yeah. Makes you think that these are just like government made things, right?
I
Obviously,
think
that one's
so.
fake, but yeah.
Could be. However,
This
I
guy's
will
just
say,
reposting. Yeah.
if the
Yeah.
government had that the ability to make this stuff back then, and like it works the way they say it works, I'm talking, it actually kind of floated and it had the rotating thing and it's moving at the speed. It's not just like a fake show. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not
Yeah.
just a floating balloon. I
Yeah, exactly.
I think the technology right now would be unfat. Like whatever they have behind closed doors, we can't imagine it. It's not possible. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah,
they
and
had
this
that
one's even
technology.
more like,
So that looks like the SR-71.
yeah, you can kind of see.
Oh, I see. Huh.
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Careful not to pull up any male appendages that seem to show up. There's this.
Here's an actual video. I don't know how real this is, but it says
This.
Haneru test flight, Nazi Germany, 1939.
Holy shit.
And once again, this is more than we've seen from any of these fucking videos. You know what I
True.
mean? A
True.
video from 1939. Like, the government needs to just fuck off at this point. This is more than what we've seen before. Even if it's fake, at least it's more than what we've seen so far.
Here's the pill. Wow. I mean, God, you know what? At this point, I hope it's real. I want it to be real so bad. I want aliens to be so real so bad.
I want to get the
Please,
alien ussy.
please be real, just for the sake of variability in my life.
Yeah.
I, yeah, I'm so torn, guys. I am so torn between the government wants us to believe in this shit for the tons of reasons they need us to believe it: distraction, future weapon usage. You know, I'm so
Yeah.
torn, and just wanting the pure mystery and adventure that would come with aliens being real and trying to contact us. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Yeah.
the pure male fantasy of adventure and the unknown and trekking through it. I would I
I would
I want it to be real.
What I want to be real is for Google to stop getting rid of all these UFO and alien videos that have been scrubbed that I can't find anymore. That I used to be able to find very easily with a simple Google search, and I can no longer find.
But you know what might have happened is a real one was released, a modern video of one,
Yeah.
and in order one of the ways they manipulate the feeds in the internet is they scrub it, but they also need to replace it with something. So it's scrubbed, and then they flood it with these, government videos and files and stuff that people, even if they're real, they're, shaded out just enough you can't tell, just to make sure the real one never gets shown. It's one of the tactics.
Yeah. And it's getting to be a nuisance at this point.
Yeah, that's the goal is that if you want anything, you need to get it from a government website, right? In the end, that's what they want.
Yeah. Which is stupid. I want to be able to just like, and I go to some of these other sites and it's like trying to find here some images. Like I find more going to other sites than what the government has been fucking feeding us. Like that's great that you showed us like a shit ton of reports. Show me a fucking picture at the very minimum. Don't show me some thermal imaging bullshit
Well, if you
and say that you
change,
released something.
you can
You know?
change the file type to image, and I'm looking at them now. Go to just change the file type to image. They have some images in there. So it looks like a lot of them are stills taken from the videos. In the top right, you can click image. So you see where type is? Yeah. Then we can just kind of look through them. Oh, I love this one. I want this one to be real so bad. This is from the Apollo 12 mission in 1969. And you can see, so we've seen colored versions of this, but it's some kind of structure in the background. Here's the second one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want these to be real so bad. You can see all the different lights there. Unless, what do you, I think we saw this.
That's just audio. That's
Yeah.
just audio.
Why'd you change? We already watched
We
all the videos and the files. We watched all of
Yeah.
them sequentially.
We've seen all these moon ones. This one we've seen.
Yeah, that's a still from the video.
I believe we saw this one too.
It's even like harder to trust anything that's released in the modern age of 2020s. It's just not. It's just it's like you said. It's ridiculous that they're posting it with this little quality, even if
Yeah.
you need to redact stuff. That keep
Like
going through.
I'm better off just going to fucking 4chan at this point, to be honest with you. It's like literally just the same image. It's just so boring, to be honest. I just, it's really depressing because not only can I not trust it, it's like they're just like laughing at me and just shoving this bullshit in my face, as if they did, as if they did something, as if they did something. Like,
Hey, click that one. Then the
this one.
19.
Oh yeah, we already read this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Azerbaijan, Germany, Detroit. This one is in.
Yeah, like
More
we
drawings.
need a leak that's not from the government. That's what we need.
Yeah, well, we aren't getting that. That's for sure. They're leaking it on
Like
purpose so that you no longer want leaks from outside the government. That's the whole intention.
failing. It's just making me hate the government even more.
Well, that was never. Oh, there isn't that many images.
Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, 17 pages is small compared to the other stuff that we've looked at, to be quite honest.
It's actually only 2 pages.
Really?
Yeah, the extra is PDFs, which I don't think have images of anything,
Yeah, like at this point, I'm starting to. I want to see if we can find the stuff that was posted to see if we can find it again.
Wait, this
But
one says.
I don't know if it's just.
Why is it taking so long to load? I think I found one that says it has images on site.
Okay.
Hold on.
Huge.
Scrolling through it. Oh my god, there's so many. What are you looking at there?
This is the final image in this. It's just a
Oh,
picture of railway.
wait. I don't know what I got something good. Hold on, let me send this to you.
All right. Take a look.
Something interesting for sure. Hopefully that takes you straight to the file. It would be cooler if it took you to the point in the file I'm looking at.
Just it's loading. It's taking its own sweet time.
Yep. So I believe this one is an incident report of people directly on base. talking about the green fireballs.
This is 200. Is there a picture or something?
Yeah, there's pictures in it. So they are observing the green fireballs and discs. You can keep scrolling down, and they actually have a picture on it. However, this is a previously released picture, so that's definitely weather balloon.
Yeah.
Wow, there's more. How did you get that little side thing open?
I don't know. Just gave it to me.
Yeah, there's a picture. There's a picture of the alleged aerial phenomenon in the photo, and this is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The angular diameter of the perfectly round. Can I see what page I'm on? I'm on page 33. Yeah, there we go. So this was previously released.
I'm sorry. It's just so underwhelming. It really is.
This one is taken in 1950 something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still kind of. It just
You want
feels
it
underwhelming.
zoomed in high res with an alien going, "Hello, brother." Like what do you want?
I don't know. At least when taken in the daytime, that way we can see the coloration of the vehicle, right?
Well, unfortunately, I'm sure they're there. That's why I'm kind of scanning through them. But we've got modern 2025, which is just fucked up, or you have 1950s, which is fucked up because it's old.
Yeah.
The angular diameter of the perfectly round luminous object Stanfield observed was approximately 1/4 of a degree. The angular they all seem to be tilted at a 25-degree angle.
I mean, they gotta move, right?
Yeah.
If they can't move, if they don't tilt. I mean, they can go up or they can go down, but they can't go forward.
There's a lot. So I'm scrolling through that same file. There is a lot of reports. A lot of reports.
Yeah, I mean, this one's 271 pages.
Yeah. This is like a mass collection of just every reported sighting ever.
This one's claiming it's 720 miles per hour. That one's in 4th of August. They're all near New Mexico.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Construction worker at Los Alamos has reported that a strange blinking object soared over a highly restricted area of the Rig Atomic Energy Center. Lee Robinson of the Armex Construction Company sent the Denver Post a copy of the mimeographed form, which he used to report the object to the AEC. The forms are prepared by the AEC for reports of unidentified aerial objects at Los Alamos.
Yeah.
The original 3-page report, Robinson said, was submitted to the Atomic Energy Security Service. Today, Robinson and 8 other employees of the Armex company says they saw the object. Robinson said he and the others were eating lunch when the unidentified object passed over. He said it was not a balloon or a conventional type of aircraft. Robinson said the object appeared to be at the altitude of about 20,000 feet. It alternatively flashed bright and black at intervals. Huh. Now, a lot of these are just to count flying saucer, flying disc, working at high altitude rockets, and jet aircraft.
Why have we not heard anything about the MJ-12 thing, though?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe people aren't looking for it is kind of one of the...
Well, no, why didn't the government release any information about it? If we're talking about UFOs.
That is true.
That was literally the whole point of MJ-12 was to identify UFOs and work on UFOs and use UFO technology that they found to create new technology. Right? I mean, I don't know.
My God, this one is complex. Detection of unidentified objects over Oak Ridge area, protection of vital installations. Ruderell, December 4, last regarding possible radar jamming at Oak Ridge. Arrangements should be made to obtain all facts concerning possible radar jamming by ionization of particles in ATOC's atmosphere.
Hmm.
Put on immediate high alert for any data whatsoever concerning flying saucers. This is in 1950s.
So well, is there any? I mean, obviously, the United States didn't really start creating organizations for this until like what, the 1940s, right? So,
Yes.
but I mean, wasn't there like identification of UFOs before this point in time? Anyway,
Sure, right?
like in other countries.
I mean, they must have been. We saw them in France. We saw the reports
Yeah, I
in
mean,
France. There's a couple from
yeah,
Germany.
yeah. I mean, France had even had their own organization for it, so it's kind of just like, isn't there like other organizations that we haven't heard about in other countries, but they aren't saying anything either? Like, I don't know. It's something like really weird. I feel is going on here. Either it's completely fake, and the other countries know that United States is just bullshitting about it, and they're all in on it, or even worse, it's real. They all have access to technology. They're all in on it, and they hate us. They hate the fucking cattle people.
Yeah,
I don't, I don't know. I feel like that's either explanation kind of sucks.
flying disc. Yeah, I guess neither seem all that too positive. It could just be they don't want to cause a panic. Well, okay, actually, let me dissect it like this.
Yeah.
So, something I've learned by watching geopolitics is that most of the world has no idea where to spend their money and what the fuck to do when it comes to conflicts or resource problems. They have no idea. For
Yeah.
example, the easiest one to look at is Ukraine versus Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine, and most of Europe waited for the US to have a
To do.
response, to do anything.
Yeah.
So the US was like, okay, we want to send tanks. We want the EU to send tanks. The EU is like, we're not going to send tanks. We'll wait for the US to do it first. The US did it first. Same with planes and other technology. So a large part of the world kind of waits for somebody to do something else or something first before they follow up. So what could be going on is that you're right. They all have access to this technology. I mean, Mexico has been pretty vocal about, you know, aliens and shit, and nobody believes them because we all just think they're a bunch of fucking third world degenerates.
Yeah.
So it could be that, yeah, a lot of these countries have access to this technology. Allegedly, there's a crash site in South Korea that is hidden behind a giant building, and it's one of the crash sites. It could just be that they have it, and most of the time they're like, look, we don't want anything to do with this shit. We'll just let the US take care of it because that does seem to be what a lot of the countries do just in general. And I mean, that's even a real, simple conflict, a conflict like Ukraine, Russia. Imagine aliens. So they just
Yeah.
default to the US, and everyone's just kind of waiting to see what the US does with this stuff. Like, when the US comes out and says there's aliens and we have the technology and, it's a mass race, then we will come out and say it too. I don't know. I do think there's some possibilities here.
This is one in China. This is back in 2010.
Hmm.
Unexpected guests apparently have paid a visit to Hangzhou, the city known as Paradise on Earth, may attract the attention of celestial visitors. Around 8 o'clock in the evening, an unidentified flying object was spotted hovering the sky above the airport. In the next hour, the airport was shut down. The official said, "We received orders to shut down the airport until the sky is cleared." As a result, outgoing flights were grounded, incoming flights were diverted to Ningbo and Wuxi. Normal airport operations resumed nearly 2 hours later. Residents near the airport have taken 2 photos of the object. One in daylight shows a clear comet-like tail, and another taken at night shows a glowing object featuring a glowing object emitting golden light. Try to click on it though, and I can't. It's not running the flash file, but I can open the image in a new tab.
I have
Mm.
another report here that lists more similarities to the EMP stuff. Also, this
Yeah.
image is kind of interesting. He just talks about the disc flying over his car. The car died, and it didn't start working again until it left. And lo and behold, the sketch is exactly like the classic UFO. The spinning disc UFO.
Hmm.
So let me see. I'm trying to. Does this? Here. Damn, I can't. So usually when they upload these files, there are text transcripts associated with the PDFs. However, for these there is not. So I literally cannot do a Control F search. To look up text, which sucks because I have heard a report apparently that Germany was the one who started all this. Germany had obtained the first crashed UFO, and then that technology was transferred to us, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's
But
also a report that there's a crash and they actually attained bodies.
hmm.
This one also says there's photographs, so I'm just kind of trying to find them here. Blumenthal. Why does Blumenthal name sound kind of familiar?
Uh. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I look even at like other countries' information that we have available to us, and I feel like we have access to more. Like what I can see here is better than what our own government's kind of handed to us right now. It's like they're giving us like the leftover meal.
Well, again, most likely it's them warming up to release more stuff. They seem to
I
like giving us the lighter
yeah,
stuff first, and then they kind of escalate it.
I hope so.
I mean, I hope so too. I want the government to be on our side and fucking care about us, and
I
you
mean,
know,
hell, just throw us a damn bone. You know, like sitting here talking about it, like shit. Show me something.
this is from the director of the FBI to J. Edgar Hoover. Perhaps this is a little out of your line of endeavor. However, I feel that perhaps your organization might be able to give me some information considering the following matter. From the first time it was written up in the press, I have been keenly interested in strange celestial phenomena, such as the flying discs, popularly called flying saucers. This is in 1952. So, what would be
Hmm.
crazy is the fact that we've seen incident reports go back to as early as 1947. This is in 1952. So,
Yeah.
assuming there aren't more or past, you know, past 19, the early 19, or sorry, late 1940s, this extreme interest in flying saucers would had to have only have happened within those 5 years, which I mean, it can happen, but it's not really realistic. So the chances are that the flying saucer thing was actually probably taking place even before then. From the first time it was written up in the press, I've been keenly interested in strange celestial phenomena. Now, out of all the thousands of people who reported sightings, not all of them have had too much to drink, nor could they have been victims of optical illusions, retinal retention, or hallucinations. Some of the objects cited could not have been jetcraft, guided missiles, or rockets. Neither could they have all been weather instruments.
Mm.
Unretouched and undoctored photographs have given evidence that someone must have seen something. It seems that both civil and military authorities are most willing to proclaim what the objects are not. I feel there is more to the matter than meets the eye. My decision is to write to you based on the thought. I would get straight answers. Do you have any idea or data on the subject? What are your opinions? If not, where might I write for such information? Any kindness, consideration, or information which you can extend to me concerning this matter will certainly be most sincerely appreciated. Yours truly. That was from the director of the FBI to the president. I mean, that's interesting in itself.
Hmm.
Captain Deegan stated that the Air Force is greatly concerned about this matter of aerial objects and said that the Air Force intelligence would appreciate the
The
execution.
biggest concern in the community isn't document fakery. It's that most of these files were already publicly available through FOIA or AARO's existing portal, making the historic transparency framing itself a kind of editorial embellishment. So this entire thing, every one of these documents that we're looking at have already been available on FOIA and
Well,
AARO.
only if someone requested them.
No, no, I mean like they were legit already available, like publicly. That's what Claude is telling me.
I don't think that's true. Maybe if someone requested them and nobody requested them, you're telling me nobody on the planet ever requested them. Nobody
No,
has
no,
put
they
together.
did. That's why they were publicly available already.
I mean, I don't
Like,
think that's true.
that's what Claude's telling me. I told him to take a look.
I feel like I would have come across a collection of these files at some point,
I
even
mean,
by themselves.
I've seen a couple of these before, but not all of them. I don't know. That's
I've
just what
never seen
Claude's
them like
saying.
this. Flying saucers. I mean, most of these are just reports on flying saucers. Flying saucers. Go back. Wait, listen to this. Commander
Yeah.
Boyd advised that Air Intelligence has set up Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio, the Air Technical Intelligence Center, which may have been established for the purpose of coordinating, correlating, and making research into all reports regarding flying saucers and flying discs. He advised that the Air Force research has indicated that the sightings of flying saucers goes back several centuries and that the number of sightings reported varies with the amount of publicity. He advised that immediately, if publicity appears in newspapers, the number of sightings reportedly increases considerably, and that citizens immediately call in reporting sightings, which occurred several months previously. Commander Boyd stated that these reported sightings of flying saucers are placed into three classifications by the Air Force: those that are reported by citizens on the ground, reported by commercial military pilots, and the third is the sightings which are reported by pilots for which there is additional corroboration, such as recording by radar.
Mm.
Most frequently observed in areas where there is heavy traffic, air traffic.
Try typing in 14.
He also says they've been reported as far distant as Acapulco, Mexico, Korea, and French Morocco. He advised that the sightings reported in the last classification have never been satisfactorily explained.
Nothing there.
This guy, I like this guy. He advised that it is not entirely impossible that the objects cited may possibly be ships from another planet, such as Mars.
Hmm.
You know, the more interesting part is that because of how old this is, 1950s, think about how much development there's been since then by humans. I mean, a ton, right? Completely different. You know, if we go back in 1950s with the technology we have now, we could conquer the fucking world. But you
Yeah.
have to imagine that any other intelligent species, including one that's in charge of the alien stuff, these different aliens, would also be evolving just as fast, if not faster, because technology, it's a compounding, exponential, advancing, feature. I don't know what to call it, material. So they would be the technology that they use to do whatever, fly around in these saucers would be different now.
Yeah.
Just like our planes are a lot different. The B-52 is unlike anything from that time period. Sorry, not the B-52. The the Raider. Even the Nighthawk is completely different than anything from back then.
No, that one big. So back in the day, I don't know if you remember this, but fortunately got taken down because there was an image that got posted allegedly of an alien staring into a camera that was located on like a government base or something in the Arizona desert. And the second the guy posted it, the website went down completely.
Really?
The problem is the government allegedly started coming up and making copies of the image that were distorted or different in some aspect and kept releasing a bunch of different images that were look similar in
Uh-huh.
order to discredit it. So now it's hard to find out which one is the real one.
Of course.
And I mean, you have this image which was posted, but I can't verify its authenticity and all.
At minimum, it seems extremely clear that presidents as far back as Eisenhower and Hoover seem to have some interest in UFOs or
Like, see,
knew of their existence.
even this image, right?
I've seen this one before.
Yeah, even this image is kind of like more realistic than anything else I've seen. This is probably the most realistic image of an alien I have ever seen. Right? It's the only close up I've ever seen to that extent. You know what I mean?
But yeah.
Like even that's like, why isn't this in like the UFO release?
What in the world? This guy said, "Gentlemen, since reading a hearing over radio about the flying saucers, I am compelled to write to you. I am a strong believer in our Almighty God, Christ our Lord. I have faith." Daniel had. "I feel that these saucers are films from a secret camera operated by something like TV. I do believe they are operating through the I don't want to get the Communist Party. Oh, okay. By radar. Every group of saucers has a picture. The best picture are kept from bombing for bombing purposes."
Hmm.
I don't know what this guy is on. This guy is on something else for sure. I do think it's interesting most of these are just the saucers.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are supposed to be documents from very high level people. The matter referred to in your letter is not within the jurisdiction of this Bureau, and I have taken the liberty of forwarding a copy of your letter to the Department of the Air Force for appropriate action. Again, J. Edgar Hoover, Director of the FBI. "Dear Sir, I have been hearing so much about the object called flying saucers. Of course, it could be that these our objects are pest-filled, radar-controlled, waiting to be punctured. We have been accused by another nation that we doubt they have devised some diabolical plan to test on us. I am inclined to pass those over lightly because I believe that these gadgets can be made and controlled to the extent of a great number of groupings, sort of like drones. Anonymous communication written in German language received by Cincinnati Enquirer pertaining to flying saucers." This is in 1952 again. I think during one of these time periods, it was a pretty big scare for people about the
Yeah.
saucers.
I don't know why. Like, why would you be afraid of a fucking saucer? But
Ooh, listen to this. Since 1944, which is 1 year before the end of World War II, there have been experimental weapons which should now be in production. The one about which there has been much discussion is a V weapon, which has a disc like round body. Holy shit. about 48.50 meters in diameter, and has been wave emission. There's even redactions here, and has by wave emission 45 to 50 automatic, and then I believe it's unintelligible. With the setting off of the disk, these rotate around a sensitive plexiglass sphere in the center, in which are located the and again, the most important parts are just apparently not legible. Okay,
Yeah.
and a guiding apparatus for distant flights. Inside the sphere, there is also enough space for high explosive atom bombs. What the fuck? These weapons are, again, it's illegible, apparently.
Yeah.
Blank, 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 and show an effective range from 30 to 35,000 kilometers. V weapon, look this up. V weapon construct spelled with a K.
We said V weapon, all one word?
V dash weapon.
Yeah.
And Kenstrus, Konstrus, or Kenstrus, Ken. I can't tell which letter it is.
Monstrous?
Nothing pops up. So this file is talking about a weapon called the V weapon. And it's basically saying the saucer is this weapon. These saucers that they're seeing is this weapon. There's an experimental weapon.
Vector, maybe it means? Vector?
Maybe, but it says they were supposed to be in production. V-Weapon Construct Technician.
Oh, here. There's a Wikipedia on it.
This is it. V-Weapons.
Known in original German as Vergeltungswaffen. German retaliatory weapons, reprisal weapons. Particular set of long-range artillery weapons designed for strategic bombing during World War II. Is there some pictures of them?
None of these look like. Oh my god, that's a similar design to
it's definitely similar
to the cruise missile.
Yeah,
the cruise missiles.
And the Germans were really just doing anything they wanted.
Bro, how far ahead of society were they?
They're pretty good. I wish we could go back in time and make things right.
Well, this letter that I'm reading basically says that the Germans had also made the flying saucer.
Yeah.
I am positive that the truth is better than keeping the people in ignorance.
Wow. Well, he didn't succeed in changing that at all, did he?
No, he did not. This letter is written apparently by a highly literate person. No. Highly literate person with undeveloped handwriting. It is my opinion that he is not making up what he has written. If I were handling this, I would turn his letter over to the FBI or some other investigating agency to see if he knows anything more. It's just signed FY, August 4th, 1952.
Look at this picture. Look at this picture here.
The Cincinnati Enquirer.
I don't care for UFOs. They insist upon themselves, Lois.
I mean, I would be okay with finding out it's just German weapons.
Yeah. I mean, maybe spinning Mercury was really just it.
I mean, it seems so simple.
I can try taking a look at the Roswell crash video.
Yeah, let's see if we can find some stuff on that. This is similar. I believe this is this letter I'm looking at is a response to that. Again, on the flying discs. Unfortunately, it's handwritten, so it's so hard to read. Is no longer interested in receiving reports concerning flying saucers. That's kind of funny. So again, in 1952, a lot happened in 1952 regarding saucers.
Yeah.
So this guy comes out, says the flying saucers are German technology, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, we don't want to hear about the flying saucers anymore." It's kind of funny. Since your communication may be of interest to another government agency, I am taking the liberty of forwarding a copy of it to the Honorable the Secretary of Air Force, Department of Defense Building, the Pentagon. Dear Sir, this is from J. Edgar Hoover from the FBI. Dear Sir, I would like to submit a theory that may lead to a solution of what the flying saucers really are. These objects could be lights caused by radio television beams illuminating moist vapor, not unlike phosphorus on rain soaked wood. In certain seasons, the northern lights, aurora borealis, have manifested themselves for years, setting up electromagnetism and earth potential, which distorts normal telegraph communications. Yeah, I don't think that's it, buddy. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense, my friend. However, I firmly believe that if the idea as set forth in my current crude way is submitted to more learned persons, then some solutions is inevitable. Yeah, the Germans having created it as a weapon is probably the most viable explanation I've ever heard for the saucers, and makes the most amount of sense to me. You know what's most interesting is they haven't said anything about the I don't see
What do you think
anything
about
about the
this though? You
Roswell
think
stuff.
this is real at all?
I've seen this video too.
I don't know if it's real or not, but it's a
I
video.
I find it to be as much real as any of these other videos and photos and stories, There's just quite simply no way to ever know until it's directly in front of your face and in the backyard.
Yeah.
This guy says, let's see, is it more saucers? While fishing in the backwaters of Thalis, Thessalan Lake, Ontario, Canada, you noticed a formation of bombing planes, 16 to 20 in number, two groups flying
Yeah, I don't
south.
know.
Stated that he had twin trails of bluish. He stated that he had been accompanied on his fishing plane. No, those are probably just American planes. I will say, so Spielberg has a movie coming out called The Age of Disclosure, and I mean Spielberg is a fucking you know what.
He's a movie
He's
director.
yeah, he's a movie director. However, his movie was it Close Encounters of the Fourth
Yeah, the
Kind? I can't remember.
third kind, yeah.
Yeah, it is one of the movies known to have a lot of inside information that was used,
Yeah.
and it's been backed up by a lot of these stories. So I am gonna watch it and hopefully, get something out of it. Bob Lazar also has a movie coming out. It's kind of crazy. All these movies are coming out in the same year, huh?
Yeah.
Could be that one
Uh,
is.
yeah, Bob Lazar is, I don't know. He talks a lot. I'm not sure if it's real or not.
I have
But I will
listened.
say
Yeah,
he
sorry. Go
does
ahead.
sound convincing.
Yeah, he was on the Joe Rogan show recently, and he was kind of reiterating some of the stuff he said. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I can't tell. I wish I was more concrete on any of this stuff, but here's another letter. Air Force Intelligence, FBI, Justice Department. This is by Mrs. Nellie T. Dull. Don't know what her role is, but she says in a letter, fellow Americans, I am writing the same letter to all three departments on August 1st. This is in 1952. Again, I wrote a letter and mailed it on August 2nd to the Air Force Intelligence telling my views of a flying saucer. In about 4 days, the physicist Noel Scott gave out a report of findings identical to my report. Now, if I have hit upon the meaning of a flying saucer, I would like to get the credit for it. Respect, woman. I have reason to believe my ideas have been hijacked. Respect. It should be easy to find out. When did Mr. Scott start his experiment? Which office did my letter go through? Was my letter placed on file? It had a return address. If you cannot find it, that proves it was destroyed in the information used. I have much better working proof of my theory than Mr. Scott, which has been before me all along until I hit upon the idea. The solution should not have been published. There is a great deal more to it than that, which I can explain. The idea should have been worked out thoroughly and secretly. Rainmakers, interesting, could probably do a great deal of harm with the answer. There is a possibility that it could mean an entirely different type of air warfare. The Air Force could possibly use it for defense warfare. It could lead to man-made flying saucers, which the enemy could use against us. Man-made flying saucers possibly could be used in conjunction with the atom and hydrogen bombs or to destroy them. What? Astronomers could use the information to predict about other planets or planetary warfare. This information could be of use in a trip to the moon. Does the Air Force wish me to keep my impressions to myself, or should I give a statement to the press? My country comes first if the information should be kept secret. I signed my other letter respectfully. When a lady from Virginia pays her respects to the Air Force, she expects the Air Force to pay respects back to her.
Huh.
Bro, respect. I respect this woman.
Yeah,
What
I
the
respect
hell?
that. Pretty based.
Holy shit. Mrs. Nellie T. Doe is pissed.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
Huh, so, I mean, the way she talks, she basically was like, yeah, I figured out how these things are flying. Again, it's the way they're so nonchalant about aliens in the sky, as if they all kind of knew this shit was going on and they just did not care. She actually got a response, funny enough. I wish to acknowledge the receipts of your letter dated August 1st, 1952. Since the matter referred to therein is within the jurisdiction of the Department of the Air Force, I have taken the liberty of forwarding the copy of your letter to the agency. For your interest, in cooperation and furnishing this material are appreciated. Sincerely yours, John Edgar Hoover. So, I mean,
Yeah.
her fucking letter was enough to get a response from the director of the FBI. I mean, that's probably worth a little something, and that's the end of the one that I am looking at. Bro, respect to her.
What's weird to me, Doug, is that I don't think this technology has much value other than reconnaissance, to be quite honest. Even if it does exist, assuming it does exist, I don't think it has any value beyond like reconnaissance, right? Because like think about it, like this stuff was getting discovered like around the World War II era, right?
Mhm.
But then we had like 2 or 3 more like historically significant war-like scenarios, like the Vietnam War
Mhm.
or the like the Cold War era against Russia, which maybe they were used at that point, I don't know, or like the Iraqi War, which is kind of still ongoing at this point, to be quite honest with you.
Mhm.
But we never really hear about any of these top secret like aircraft using alien technology to attack the enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Maybe you're.
even like in the Vietnam, yeah.
So, wait, let me just catch what you're saying. Let me just see if I understand what you're saying. Are you saying this technology was actually fucking useless and that's why we don't use it anymore?
Yeah, because I think it's just like at best it's used for like reconnaissance, maybe, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I think
I think
because think
you're onto
about it like
something.
this. Maybe that's why they're just shoving it in our faces at this point, is because they know it's useless and they've done everything they could with it and they realize there's fuck all we can do. That's why even DARPA's fucking thing they were working with wasn't using spinning mercury. It was using just regular jet propulsion fuel, using a coolant that would spray out at a high temperature and allow it to combust and move in different directions, right?
Right.
Even that wasn't even like a UFO technology though. Because think about it, let's assume that these things like had like insane capabilities for like fuselage or like holding artillery shells and just fucking launching them at the enemy, right? Like just holding them and like using them as like a drone, sort of like an old age drone. They didn't use it like that at all. There's no reports of it being used like that ever.
Well, no, what you're saying makes a lot of sense because, like, so these guys are saying, oh, this could be used to deliver atomic bombs, but an intercontinental ballistic warhead moves
Yeah,
faster.
yeah,
It moves fast. It
exactly.
delivers it fast. It moves faster, right?
Yeah,
A
like
reconnaissance
it,
drone. Okay, the U-2 spy plane, the
well, no, even
SR-71
reconnaissance might not be correct because they even
moves
say that these
faster.
things don't have any windows. How would you
Yeah.
even view what you're trying to look for, right? Like best case scenario, this is like just like a super stealthy way to send one person from one place of the planet to the other spot on the planet. At best, it's a way to transport one person that has like knowledgeable intel on another country, like a spy or something, right? Like that's like the best case scenario for these things, right?
And even then, if it's moving too slow, it's gonna get shot down,
That
right?
that would explain why it's been so secretive this entire time, because they don't want the enemy knowing how many they have, or that their spies are using these things that they've planted in forests across the enemy country, and they just get into these little fucking capsules and zoom off, right?
I'm gonna advance your theory with this. This
Yeah,
technology was pretty useless
yeah,
until now because you can attach high-powered lasers to the TR-3B, and so
yeah.
therefore a stationary laser weapon is actually super useful, right? Because it can't get shot down by projectiles anymore. So the technology comes
Correct.
back up in the TR-3B because finally it can defend itself from something that's moving fast enough that would normally shoot it
Alternatively,
down.
the situation in Hawaii, a satellite wouldn't have had the necessary degrees and angles on the mirroring itself, using the power of the sun to create a laser, or enough battery to really project it in a specific direction without kind of just like probably not working halfway through, right? It's entirely feasible that they may have used something like these flying discs, or the spinning mercury technology to use a UFO and have a single man drone type of thing just fly over Hawaii and do it like that, right?
Sure.
Because I mean, technically speaking, you could do it with like a Black Hawk, but when you really think about it, you're flying at what, 500 miles per hour? Like you have to, right? You have to fly at that speed in a Black Hawk. Otherwise, you can't. It's not like you can just fucking glide. You can't have the thing not producing energy and still be going at a low speed enough to maintain accuracy with a laser over Hawaii. I feel like.
Yeah,
Because think about it, you
I
do have to
agree.
be,
But I don't know.
even with like a really high powered laser, you have to be in a specific spot for a certain period of time in order for something to catch fire, right?
Yeah.
Especially from like a high angle, from a high degree, that way no one can see the vehicle itself. I don't know. It's just a theory.
It does make sense. I do like this alternative theory. Okay, so here we go. I like this theory the most. It's made by the Germans, and we know
Yeah.
the Germans were making all kinds of shit that was kind of useless in the end, right? Or they
Yeah.
didn't have time to get in manufacturing.
I
I
mean,
read,
think about it. They made a fucking plane that had a lifespan of 15 hours.
yeah. We have two files. One here that says that it was a German plane. The saucer tech was a German
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah.
It goes into mass production. By mass, I just mean they made as many as they could have at the time,
Yeah.
probably in the tens. The U.S. gets its hands on it. Is like, okay, this is cool, but application-wise, the fighter jet, which they invented, the Germans also invented, is far
Yeah.
more superior. The Russians and the Germans both made rockets. And the
Yeah.
US is like, okay, well, this moves faster than this fucking dog shit Mercury plane,
Yeah.
that is actually just a sitting duck.
Yeah.
It has a normal jet, has more weapon space, can more accurately deliver the weapons, or just attach a fucking rocket, a nuclear bomb to the end of a rocket, and
Yeah.
that's just better. Pretty much every application that this thing could be used for, this saucer type technology,
I mean, and
is
also if you look at the
outpaced
time
by
frame,
jets
yeah, I mean, if you look at the
until
time frame
now.
as well, like we captured the Nazi scientists.
Yeah. Or they just
That
came
was
over
like
to us
that was 1945, and then a few years later, all of a sudden, people are seeing flying
all
discs,
over the
flying.
US.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
true. It's true.
maybe that's part of what we were testing out during the time period, and the reason why they kind of slowed down and people stopped seeing them as much
Just
is just
wasn't
because
useless.
it's also not impossible to think that maybe there is a huge fucking spacecraft using spinning mercury like the one we saw on that radar over fucking Mexico City or Mexico or whatever,
I
right?
don't know, bro. That was too big. That was too big.
That'd be a lot of mercury to spin.
That's a lot of metal too. To just be hovering over Mexico for fun.
Yeah, I
Whew.
know, right?
Uh,
Where would
and,
they even put the fucking thing? It's the size
that's
of a
true.
state.
They parked it. Yeah. I
Probably
don't know.
Antarctica,
It's
right?
almost the size of the country, a Mexican country. That
It
thing
would
was
have to be
huge.
Antarctica. I can't think of anywhere else they'd park it where it would be found.
I don't know, and it's possible we have, we have parallel things happening at a time, right? Like the aliens things are true. Obviously, the EMP technology not as well known, not widely used during that
Well, yeah,
time
because
period. That would be kind of rough.
because the tractor doesn't use a battery; it just uses the fucking combustion engine. So what would EMP a combustion engine, right?
Wait a second. Yeah, that's a good point too. How would the
How would that work?
good question? It wasn't just that I read two reports, one on the tractor, and I also heard like a fucking like early 1900 Pontiac, yellow
Yeah,
Pontiac. It described it. I don't know. That's a good point too. I don't
yeah,
know
like
what's
because a
making it.
combustion
What would be
engine you
making the
can't. It's
car
kind of
stop?
hard to EMP, right? You'd have to prevent combustion from occurring in a specific field.
Tough. I don't know.
And the only way to do that is to like prevent oxygen from entering certain spaces. But if that was the case, then the guy would have suffocated to death.
I don't know. And then of course there are the actual reports of humanoid aliens, which
Yeah.
vary across
It
country.
could also just been his tractor was fucking up.
Yeah.
And he gave it some time. He even said he waited for the fucking noise to stop and he started his thing. So maybe he just needed to fucking let his oil sit in his fucking engine for a little bit, you know?
Finding
And
that
I don't know.
file by that woman was goaded of me just now.
Yeah.
But that was pretty
Oh
goaded.
yeah. Oh yeah.
More than one file says that it was actually man-made. Damn, brother, we managed to make these flying discs all the way back in 1952, early 1950s. Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
crazy shit. And there's still a lot more about the lights because obviously the pixie lights and the images of lights everywhere that I
I mean, it's
really
just kind of
don't have an
like
explanation of.
they had the opportunity to test out their fucking flying frisbees, and then they also got to use it as a distraction as part of psyops. You know, fucking in the year 2026. You know, and before.
It would be so funny if this was like if the government was like, haha, we have this like outdated weapon that was just low key useless at the time.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
just like, distract him with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the
Yeah.
1950s. Here's a little toy we had back in the 1950s. Here, have have fun, bro. That
Yeah.
was if that was true. Again, kudos to them for getting us. But I get, yeah, it does make sense that now would be a good use for it because the laser technology that we have now,
Yeah.
it makes it an actual viable kind of defense tool. And the stealth
This is true.
and the stealth technology that we have now, again, didn't have
Yeah.
didn't have that back then.
No, I think. Yeah, I think they're kind of fucking with us a little bit, just a little bit.
It's probably a mixture. It's always a mixture of both, right?
Yeah. Psyop and actual information.
Yeah, because again, those JFK files that had a lot of real information in it.
Yeah.
This one apparently has photographic evidence. Let me just skim this real quick.
But it's so weird because there's so many videos I remember seeing early on in 4chan of like UFO related stuff, and now I can't find any of it.
Oh,
I do think that some of it has some legitimacy to it for sure, but I think that the internet's been scrubbed of it. I don't know by who, by someone obviously, but not too happy about it.
yeah, I have not been too happy about the scrubbing that's been going. I feel like it's been a lot of scrubbing.
Yeah, no, it's pretty blatant too.
Regarding potential propulsion systems, technical proposals regarding technical additional topics include convention programs, researchers accounts. All right, let's see this one real quick. What's completely astonishing is that a lot of that a lot of people are looking at these saucers and going, "Yeah, I can recreate that," you know.
Yeah,
And then maybe they did. Maybe they did recreate it.
yeah. I mean, there's a good chance they did. I mean,
Why wouldn't they,
it's
right?
yeah. Why not? Like, there's no reason not to. I mean, hell, we
Also,
were fucking giving all dolphins LSD and making them have sex with their trainer. You know,
yeah, yeah.
I know I bring up the dolphin story every time, but
Well, at this point in time, you have to like the mentality that all of these people are in, especially the government at this time, right? They're hot off the
yeah,
heels of World War II.
Yeah.
Never before has America or any other government in the world spent this much money on military tech. They're still extremely paranoid about Russia and China. Well, mostly Russia, the
Yeah.
USSR. The Americans are still freaking the fuck out, right? So at this,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is they're just throwing even more money. Like the war hasn't ended for them. They're just throwing even more money at this.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they? We know, right? Like you said, they're trying to use dolphins as a weapon. They're sitting there. They're hiring voodoo experts, right, and witchcraft users to come over to the U.S. and try and cast spells on enemies in Russia.
They were doing any. They were like grasping at fucking straw.
Literally anything is on the table. So why wouldn't they try and recreate this technology if they had wins? They would. Not only would they would be foaming at the mouth to recreate this technology.
That's also when their fucking director of NASA is like, oh yeah, we destroyed the technology we used to get to the moon. You can understand why people are going to be like, yeah, we never went to the moon then.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just what makes the most sense. Like
you want to
we're just being lied to.
You want to know what the most interesting thing about this is? We have mostly reports from the FBI director, Hoover, by the way.
Yeah.
Most of this is collected reports from low airmen, some higher up Air Force people, and military people in general. Here's the most interesting thing. Why aren't these reports coming directly? Like, why aren't there any high-level reports coming from the Air Force itself? There's none. I don't see a single report here of some higher-up technicians from the Air Force.
Holy shit! It's one of those flying frisbees again. Get the fuck out of the line, Mr. President! Mr. President!
Yeah, like, why is it that the report from a little army man is going through the FBI as a chain of command? Like, what? Yeah. What is going on there? I'm kind of confused as to the chain of command, because it doesn't seem like it goes up to the Air Force. It doesn't go straight up the Air Force. It's coming from lower Air Force men through the FBI to the president. How is that happening? How does that make any sense? The FBI is intercepting these reports and it's sending them to the president? Okay, maybe. But why is it that these low-level Air Force members are reporting to the director of the FBI?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what does the FBI have to do with any of this, right? Like, what does it be like a Department of Aeronautics thing or something, or a NASA issue even? Why would the FBI, like, I don't know, why would the FBI even be involved with any of this bullshit to begin with?
So here's my proposal.
Yeah.
They're only giving us what the FBI has because they have much better content that they're holding out on us for.
Well, I haven't seen anything from the CIA. We haven't seen a single NSA.
Anything from the CIA. We've seen like barest of minimum in all of these files from the CIA, right?
The NSA is honestly higher up than the CIA.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything from either of them on any of the files.
We've seen a little. Well, not
a little.
We've seen smidge. Yeah. The NSA is the one I really want to see because, they're the ones that are sitting on all the shit.
I'm sure. So we got another...
the quietest. Think about it. Think about how often do you hear about President Trump talking to the FBI director?
All the time.
Pretty often. Yeah. How often do you hear him talking to the fucking CIA director, right?
Tulsi Gabbard. It's like they're two separate entities. It's like,
how often do you hear him talking to the fucking...
other guy.
How often do you hear him talking to the fucking NSA director?
Who? The NSA doesn't need... I don't even think the NSA technically exists. I don't even think it technically exists.
No. I want to talk about fucking secret. You got FBI, you got CIA, and then you got NSA.
Well, you know what? It's a good point. I sit here and I watch hundreds of videos about these directors of programs of this, of FBI, the new fucking Air Force colonel, new naval admiral, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
Why the hell why have I never heard of the director of the NSA?
Yeah.
Does the NSA technically not exist and therefore we don't get to hear about that?
It's General Joshua M. Rudd is the director of the national, at least according to Google.
Listen, I watch a ridiculous amount of footage of these directors. A ridiculous amount. How
You want to
come
know
I've
something even
never
crazy?
seen anything on this guy?
The new NSA director was confirmed by the Senate on March 10th, 2026, and we never heard a fucking word about it.
Not a single word, dude.
Isn't that insane?
That is
You
insane.
know, it's even crazier than that. Not only is he the fucking director of the National Security Agency, he's also the chief of the Central Security Service, something I've never heard of either. The fucking commander of the U.S. Cyber Command, the U.S. Cybercom, assuming these roles on March
Oh
20th,
my
2026.
god.
We never heard a single fucking word about it.
Yeah, that seems like 3 important departments.
Oh, there's someone on Reddit talking about it.
Post is labeled discussion.
It's right in the article. He fails to understand constitutional limits on the NSA's surveillance authorities. That's the entire point of the NSA.
Mm-hmm.
All NSA directors are enemies of the American people. Simple as. Not a fan unless he quit spying on. Oh yeah, there was one public news article posted about the NSA in like the past 2 years, and it was about this woman who apparently had access to all the iPhones, all the pictures on people's iPhones and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so she was masturbating to dick pics that men were taking on their phones. And she had a collection of like a million of them on her, saved on like a huge hard drive at home. And then she got busted for it and fired.
Yeah, I heard also there was a group, like a group chat, where they were just sharing all their best naked people. They were all just gooning to it.
Yeah. Shocker. Like, am I the
Uh,
only one that wouldn't be doing this stupid ass shit?
I don't know. I don't, I don't know if I could take the job in the first place is my biggest problem. Like, could I personally sit down and watch random videos of Americans, mostly just gooning, most likely? I don't know
Well,
if
at
I
this
can
point, they're
handle that.
shoving it all through AI.
Yeah, which is also just probably has
Yeah.
all its own repercussions.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read this last report here, and then we will probably wrap up for tonight, and then we will do some more, because to be honest with you, some of these stories are kind of just fun.
Okay.
I am a member of, this is to Edgar Hoover, of course.
Yeah.
This is in 1966. I am a
Mhm.
member of NICAP, NICAP, and I am very much interested in the UFO flying saucers. Several weeks ago, a fellow employee received a letter from Arizona with a stamp on the back, see enclosed. Being interested in the UFOs, I asked for the stamp and sent $3 for a stamp. That sounds
That's
expensive for
kind
that
of,
time period.
it does, yeah, it does sound expensive for the time period.
For the 12 issues of AFSCA, having received and read my first issue, I feel it isn't just what it appears on the surface. I can't say just why, but with my limited idea of how communists operate, it strikes
Oh, so
me
that'd be a quarter for each stamp.
is backed by them. My reason for writing this is that I consider myself a true American. I am told my ancestors go back to a great 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 grandmother who was an Indian squaw, and I'm proud of it. If by writing for this AFSCA report my name could in any way be aligned with the Communist Party, I would like to know if there's a way I can get things straightened out. I may be all wrong about my interpretations of this report, but I'd like to be sure since I expect I will get the other issues as they come up. So this guy is just like, I don't want to be a. So when was the Red Scare, by
12
the way?
issues? That's crazy.
When was the Red Scare? Can you look that up?
Yeah, I can look that up. Red Scare.
It's a
I'm assuming that
lot
was
of
like
newspaper clippings. So you
two
remember
distinct
those
periods of intense anti-communist hysteria and moral panic in the United States, characterized by fears that,
1947 to
yeah,
1954.
first occurred 1917 to 1920, and then 1947 to 1954.
You know all those black and white
McCarthyism.
photos you pulled up of the UFOs?
Yeah, yeah.
Those were all news clippings from that time period, by the way. I'm looking at them right now.
The government using fear as a tactic to control the masses, never, right?
Well, even within the FBI, it seemed like a big deal. Like we're freaking out about commies.
I
Amalgamated.
never get to hear anything about the NSA or the CIA though, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like I feel like the FBI is like it's like the runt of the litter, right? Like Malcolm in the Middle, you know?
yeah.
Old enough to do chores, not old enough to
Oh, I
earn an allowance.
I found it. Okay, so I'm sorry. We'll end on this one. This is a report allegedly by a guy who was communicating with an alien. I've been waiting to look for this one.
Okay. What do you got?
All right, I'll send it to you so you can pull it up on stream, and then we'll close out.
Okay.
So I thought
Take
this
a look.
was fake. I didn't know this was actually in the files. I thought this was fake. It's on page 17.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so it's a memorandum, director of the FBI, Flying Saucers International, official journal of the Amalgamated Flying Saucer Clubs of America. It's kind of seeming like maybe a joke.
Maybe like bullshit. Yeah.
We're off to a really bad start. However,
Yeah.
Jesus, it's tagged by like every agency possible.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia division by letter dated 9/22/66 furnished the Los Angeles division with issue number 24 entitled Flying Saucers International, which is the official journal of the Amalgamated Flying Saucer Clubs of America. The Philadelphia division received the magazine from Mr. Jarvis H. Cooper.
IRS.
Subscribed to the magazine because his son exhibited interest in flying saucers in outer space. He said that on pages 2 and 3 of issue number 24 was an article which he believed expounded the Communist Party. Bro, they were freaking out about the communists.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of weird.
Is located LA, California. The article were allegedly written by Master Kalen. Okay, so head of planet Corandor, which was received on 5466 by special directional shortwave radio by Bob Renown. So apparently this was written by an alien, but it sounds like it's more of a joke.
Yeah. This kind of seemed to be the case.
However, it's funny that it went to the FBI. Who knows? Maybe it's real. We did cover the MJ12 thing in a similar fashion.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on MJ12 yet either.
Yeah, that part to me is the most suspicious. Mr. Paul L. Wright. Dear Mr. Wright, your letter on October 9th has been received. With respect to your inquiry, matters pertaining to sightings of UFOs are not within the jurisdiction of the FBI. And yet, how many of these fucking files have gone through the FBI? All of them.
Yeah. I feel like FBI is like a shell company for like the government, you know?
It's supposed to take all the hits.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Kash Patel looks so bug-eyed all the time.
For real.
He's super paranoid. He's like, please, it's not the FBI's fault. It's not the FBI's fault. You sit there lying awake at night. Feel kind of bad for him in a way, but that's what we can do for him. He's just going to have to suffer.
Yeah. A lot of this is just more of the same. For the past 20 years, the United States has been having an increase in the problem of UFOs, flying saucers, and nothing is being done about it. The Air Force has maintained that the sightings have been gas, light weather, etc., but by talking to some. So here's the most interesting part, because this is in 1966. So 1947 to 1955, we have it's German technology, and there's flying saucers, and we need to investigate, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we know how this technology works. We're either manufacturing it or we're going to recreate it. All of a sudden, 1956, they're like, okay, we're no longer taking reports on the UFOs. Why would they do that? That means they figured it out, right? Or somebody else is taking it over. That means they figured it out.
Yeah.
So 1956, they're like, okay, we figured it out. We no longer need to. And then between 1957 and 1966, they're basically like, we don't care anymore, and it's commies. That's basically, we figured it out. It's commies. We don't care anymore.
Oh my god.
What?
That's crazy. It's commies. It was commies the entire time instead of flying frisbees. Don't worry. Donald J. Trump is taking care of the evil communists. We've decided to shove all the fat MAGA supporters inside of cannons and shoot them at the frisbees. It's working really, really well.
Yeah, I think I've kind of solidified my idea of these things. But it does seem like pretty much anything taking place between 1966 to current day is probably all just propaganda.
You
All right,
know.
close up shop here.
Yeah.
We will come back to it at a later time.
Hopefully, I want some more stuff for the CIA and the NSA. I think if we can
We're
get some
never getting
clarification.
that, buddy. We are never getting that.
Yeah. We're stuck with this shit.
What does the FBI even do these days?
Yeah, what do they do? What is Kash Patel even doing over there now?
I mean,
is that his job? He's like, listen, Cash, I love you. Okay, you're my favorite. I love you, like the kids. I do. But yeah, I don't know if you understand the government nowadays, but the director of the FBI isn't supposed to actually do anything. Okay, you're just gonna sit there and look bug-eyed all the time. Okay, look like you're terrified, absolutely terrified, mortified of whatever the fuck is in front of you, and then you won't have to worry about hearing you're fired.
yeah, he's the only one who hasn't been fired, basically.
He just sits there, looks bug-eyed, and he keeps the job. I don't know how he does it. He's a master at his craft.
All right, we're wrapping up. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the episode. We will, of course, go through more files pretty soon for part 2. Thanks again for always tuning in, listening, enjoying, liking,
Just look
commenting,
out for the next
subscribing.
release.
Yeah, the next release should be soon. I don't see why they wouldn't. However, it didn't really seem like as many people cared nearly. They just didn't seem to care at all compared to the other releases.
I think also, once the next release happens for the UFO stuff, we can take a look at that, but then we should also probably start looking into seeing what's well, I don't know if we want to do the 9/11 files for certain reasons
when they
related
come
to
out.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, when they come out, we'll look through them. I don't see why we wouldn't.
Yeah.
These, I don't know. I mean, we'll keep digging. We're still pretty early in, but for the most part, in my brain, I'm kind of thankfully the way it's been organized sequentially, we can kind of tell what's going on. So, flying saucers, it says it's made by Germans. We have recreated technology. I like your theory that it was probably made useless by more modern technology. We just kind of went the alternative path, and now that it's coming back. However, I'm not seeing anything on the alien humanoids just yet, so I'm going to try and find those for the next episode. Because, at this point, we're just seeing constant flying saucer, flying saucer, flying saucer. Nobody's like, I saw a flying yellow.
I saw a tube. I saw a tube in the sky. It was shiny and metal. It was like aluminum or something. Hey, you saw that too? Hey, I got my report. I'm getting it into the FBI Director Kash Patel with the guy with the bug eyes. Yeah, I'm telling him about the shiny metal tube I saw in the sky.
Yeah, I don't.
Did you guys see any naked kids at all?
Oh. All right. Thanks again, guys. We will see you next episode. You got anything for the crowd?
Nope. Just keep your eyes out for the sky. Look for any commies and flying frisbees that look like shiny aluminum.